boys and girls. Welcome. Today we will be continuing Book 3, Mummies in the Morning, as part of our Magic Treehouse series by Mary Pope Osborne. Today I'll be reading Chapter 9 called Follow the Leader. Ready? Here we go. As we read Chapter 9 of Mummies in the Morning, there are some words that we need to know. The first word that we should talk about is the word budge. This is the word budge. Now, budge means to move just a little bit. So, for example, maybe you're in line for lunch. Everybody's waiting. But for some reason, the line is just not moving, not even a little bit. The line won't budge. It's just staying still. It won't move even a little bit. That's the word budge. The other word to think about is the word pitch. Now, pitch can mean a couple of different things. I might say, it's my turn to pitch in the baseball game. Now, that kind of pitch is like to throw a baseball, right? Here's a hand, not the best. And maybe it's that. There we go. So it's my turn to pitch. But if we were to read a sentence that says, it was pitch dark, that doesn't mean this. That means pitch as in dark, dark, dark black as black can be. So pitch dark would mean if I were to look outside my window in the middle of the night and there was no moon, maybe the clouds are covering it, and it's just pitch dark, that means it is black or dark as black. That's what that would mean. Another word we might need to know is bounding. Bounding. Bounding is as if, for example, if my dog hears the doorbell, he might go bounding down the stairs. And if he's bounding down the stairs, he is jumping. He's not walking slowly. He's not taking his time. He's not going gently step by step. He is probably, that's not the best Willie Jack, but there he goes. He is probably jumping and leaping down the stairs in a big hurry, bounding down the stairs. So another word for budge would be move, but remember, it's moving only a little bit. A slight move. Another word for this, pitch dark, would be black dark. And another word for bounding might be jumping or leaping. Those would be synonyms. Okay, so those are the words we want to make sure we know as we read Chapter 9 of Mummies in the Morning. Chapter 9, Follow the Leader. It was pitch dark. What happened? Asked Annie. I don't know. Something weird, said Jack. We have to get out of here fast. Push against the door. Good idea, said Annie in a small voice. They felt their way through the darkness to the top of the stairs. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay, said Jack. He was trying to stay calm. Of course, said Annie. They leaned against the wooden door and pushed. It wouldn't budge. They pushed harder. No use. Jack took a deep breath. It was getting harder to breathe and harder to stay calm. What can we do? Asked Annie. Just Just rest a moment, said Jack, panting. His heart was pounding as he tried to see through the darkness. Maybe we should start down the hall, he said. Maybe we'll eventually come to an exit. He wasn't sure about that, but they had no choice. Come on, he said, feel the wall. Jack felt the stone wall as he climbed slowly down the stairs. Annie followed. Jack started down the dark hallway. It was impossible to see anything, but he kept going, taking one step at a time, moving his hands along the wall. He went around a corner. He went around another corner. He came to some stairs. He went up. There was a door. He pushed against it. Annie pushed too. This door wouldn't budge either. Was this the same door they had started at? It was no use. They were trapped. Annie took his hand in the dark. She squeezed it. They stood together at the top of the stairs, listening to the silence. Meow. Oh, man, Jack whispered. He's back, said Annie. Meow. Follow him, cried Jack. He's going away from us. They started down the dark hallway, following the cat's meow. Hands against the wall, Jack and Annie stumbled through the darkness. Meow. They followed the sound all the way through the winding hallway, down, down, down. Around one corner, then another, and another. Finally, they saw a light at the end of the tunnel. They rushed forward out into the bright sunlight. Yay, Annie shouted, but Jack was thinking. Annie, he said, how did we get out of the false passage? The cat, said Annie. But how could the cat do it? Asked Jack. Magic, said Annie. Jack frowned. But look, said Annie. She pointed. The cat was bounding away over the sand. Thank you, called Annie. Thanks, Jack shouted at the cat. His black tail waved. Then he disappeared in the shimmering waves of heat. Jack looked toward the palm trees. At the top of one sat the treehouse, like a bird's nest. Time to go home, Jack said. He and Annie set off for the palm trees. It was a long, hot walk back. At last, Annie grabbed onto the rope ladder, then Jack. Once they were inside the treehouse, Jack reached for the book about Pennsylvania. Just then, he heard a rumbling sound. The same sound they had heard in the pyramid. Look, Annie said, pointing out at the window. Jack looked. A boat was beside the pyramid. It was gliding over the sand like a boat sailing over the sea. Then it faded away into the distance. Was it just a mirage? Or was the ghost queen finally on her way to the next life? Home, Jack, whispered Annie. Jack opened the Pennsylvania book. He pointed to the picture of Frog Creek. I wish we could go home, he said. The wind began to blow. The leaves began to shake. The wind blew harder. It whistled louder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely silent. That concludes Chapter 9 of Mummies in the Morning, Follow the Leader. I hope you were paying attention, boys and girls, because now we are going to answer some questions about the chapter we just read.